it's Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet, and welcome to Annie's YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. Are you on your work break trying to squeeze some crochet in, or have you been sitting all day working on a crochet project and you want to learn something new? Make sure you write it in the chat below or in the comments. Say hi, your name, and where you're watching from. We love to see where people join in from all over the world. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet, and today I'm going to show you a few tips on how to put together this felt floral bag. See what it looks like. It works up fast because you're not crocheting the entire square. As you can see, these are all felt squares. You could also substitute with other fabric. The beauty of felt is that it doesn't need to be hemmed. So I cut out 24 squares of felt. They're 3 1/4 inches square. And then I edge them with an embroidery stitch. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you how to do the embroidery stitch, and that makes it possible to add crochet around the edges. And then I'm going to show you how you put it all together to get this nice shape. See how it's rounded at the bottom, but then has this nice pointed part on top. I love the shape of this bag, and it's very easy to make as long as you have the diagram and you know a few secrets. Now, this project is inside a digital issue that you can find on anniescatalog.com. Again, if you look in the description below, there'll be a link where you can purchase this pattern. It comes from a special issue called From Scraps to Sensational, and it looks like this with a very colorful afghan on the front and some cute kid hats and some scarves. The whole issue filled with, I think, about 50 patterns. You will be able to make them from your scraps that you have at home. So they all require a small amount of yarn or thread, and you can make some really pretty things using all the creativity that the designers put together. So this came out back in 2015, but it is still available. You can buy it again at anniescatalog.com, and since it is the digital issue, all you need to do is click download to your device and you get the entire PDF immediately, and you can start working right away. So this is the floral felt handbag in that issue. I believe it's on page 16. So if you're someone who has been a customer of Annie's for a long time, you might have this special issue in your library at home, and you'll want to look back in there and I'll show you how to make it. So again, one more time, here's the project. Now the yarn I used is size 3 cotton crochet thread. You can use other yarn. I found the size 3 is easy to embroider with because it passes through the felt very easily. But if you have another favorite yarn that might be a little thicker, you can try that as well. So size 3 cotton crochet thread, and I love how it has a really pretty sheen, and because it's cotton, it's soft and easy to work with. So let me show you how to edge each square. I'm going to flip my camera. So just give me a second. You're going to see my ceiling here. Now you should see down here. Tighten everything up, hopefully. Slide this back a little bit. There we go. So here is a square for you. And I made this one a little bit larger so it's easier to see. And you're just going to use an embroidery needle that's nice and big. So a yarn needle tends not to be sharp enough at the tip, and it tends to have a really large eye. So I pick one of these out at my local craft store that is still nice and long, has a nice good point on the end, and has a relatively small eye. big enough for the yarn to fit through, but not so big that it's going to make a giant hole in my felt. Now I put a knot at the end, and I'm going to go from the middle to the corner so you can see how to do that. So I come in from the back side with my knot on the back, and I'm a little more than 1/4 inch from the edge. Then I'm going to take the thread and let it go up to the top edge of the fabric like so. Then I'm going to come back in up through the fabric, and it's about a little more than 1/4 inch to the left. You can go either direction, left or right with this. And I'm going to pull that thread nice and snug. Then the next step, before I go on to the next stitch, is I'm going to thread the needle through that loop I just created. And now that I've caught on to that, I'm ready to start the whole row. Now when I finish, this stitch right here will be caught by my last stitch that I'll do after I've gone all the way around. So don't worry about how it looks right there. So now I have my yarn again, and I'm going to come up from the back again, a little more than 1/4 inch to the left. See where I'm coming up? Pull it nice and snug. Could see how that loop, and then I put my hook, my needle through that loop I just created. And you could see how that makes a nice border along the edge of the felt. So I'll do that one more time. So I'm going to go up through the back, right like so, in line with the other stitches right here. Pull so it's nice and taut, but not too tight. I don't want to do this and crumple up my project. So I want to make sure it's snug. And then that loop I just created, I'm going to put my needle through that, and that pulls it over so it goes along the edge. The blanket stitch is very helpful for a lot of projects. And by doing this, when you get to the corner, I put my needle right up in line with the corner. Put my needle through. You see how it matches up right on the edge? And I continue around. Now, according to the directions, you'll see that you want to do 7 blanket stitches on every edge of your squares. And you might want to plan them out, maybe put some pins across each edge till you get the hang of it, because you want to make sure you have the same amount on all 4 sides so that when you crochet everything together, it comes out even. So you could see how that works, and I'll just continue all the way around. And then now that I have these loops here, I can work my crochet hook right underneath that. So it gives me something to put my crochet hook into. Instead of working in the fabric, I can work right into the loops of the crochet, of the blanket stitch, sorry, like this. And you can cram a bunch in there and work your way across. And now I have a crochet edging. So I'll show you again on the actual project right here. So see how I did the blanket stitch all the way around this felt piece, and then I added crochet in between, like so. And then once I've edged all the squares with the crocheting, then I can stitch them together as you would stitch any other motif together. by working in the back loops and working across each side, just like this. And then you can join them to create this bag shape. Now, in the directions, there is a diagram. I've enlarged it here for you of how to put it together. So if you arrange the 24 squares in this manner and attach them all along here, then you will get a bag that looks this shape. If you fold it right here, you attach them all, and then you fold it up, this will get you the bag in this shape that you have. And then you would just join these sides together like they're joined here. And there you go. You have this nice cute shape of a bag using felt. And also you can add these decorative flowers to the center in whatever color you like. And we even added some decorative silver buttons too to add a little more interest. So I hope that helped you make this part of the floral felt handbag. Let me just turn my camera back around. You'll see my, and there we go. So I love that technique because I love to combine crochet with other crafts. So this is embroidery technique, but also using fabrics. Maybe have some really pretty fabric that you've been saving for years and you want to make something special. You can do this with it. Of course, if it's not felt, you're going to have to hem each square of your fabric. But if you use felt, you just cut and start sewing right away, and then you can crochet around the edge and join them together as I just showed you to get this cute bag in a fun shape. I just love the shape. And I also line the inside so anywhere where you might see a few gaps, there aren't any, because I line the whole thing with a piece of black felt as well. And don't forget, this project is in the special issue From Scraps to Sensational, which you can find in the description below. So thanks for joining today. Let me know in the comments below if you learned anything new, or if you've tried combining embroidery with crochet or fabric with crochet, and what kind of things you made. I love to read your comments and check in with you and see where you're watching from. Thanks again for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!